This is the 365 Days of Multi-Level Marketing Journey to Freedom podcast with Rome Batchelor, where Rome shares his daily journey from down and out to total financial freedom in 1 year, along with pro tips, tricks, strategies, and tools to help you join in on the journey. Now, here's Rome with today's Journey to Financial Freedom podcast.
Day 12. One of the biggest secrets of them all. And that is, are you an island unto yourself, or are you willing to be part of your success, or are you going to try to take all the credit yourself? And here, specifically, what I mean is you can't do it by yourself. Especially in the people business, especially in the team building business. So are you taking the credit for everything? Are you trying to do all the work yourself? Are you trying to make sure you're the leader with your frontline people? Is this an ego trip? Or are you after the mission? Are you after results? Are you after success? You know, Rich DeVos, who started the Amway Corporation with his partner Jay Van Andel years ago, has built the absolute, unquestionably largest network marketing empire in the history of the industry. To this date, there's been many huge success stories, but none have yet to surpass what Rich DeVos started back in the 50s. With Jay. And Rich has a tremendous amount of perspective, obviously, because he kind of, you know, for the most part, Rich started the whole industry for the most part. And he developed many of the leaders who developed the leaders who developed the leaders who taught people who went on to other companies and began other companies and used the same principles that Rich and Jay started with and inspired and developed in others. So, you know, really and truly, most of the success in the industry today in some way has been impacted either directly or indirectly by Rich DeVos's efforts, wisdom, and sacrifice. So we owe him a lot of credit. But Rich said, and I've had the privilege to meet him once, and Rich said, you know, that there's no limit to what you can achieve if you're willing to give everyone else the credit. There's no limit to what you can achieve if you're willing to give somebody else the credit. So it can be everybody else, really, truly somebody else. Because in every scenario, there's somebody you can give the credit to. Even if they only did a small part, you can make them feel like they did the larger part. And feel sincere about it, because if you're in your heart, you're willing to uplift other people. In your heart, if you're willing to recognize other people and be a lifter of others, a developer of others, a coach, so to speak, or an inspiration to others, then this industry, this business model is for you. Think of it like ministry. It's where the fulfillment is the end result of the impact, not necessarily the credit that you get. So the credit is there. Obviously, it will play a part, and it's going to be there. But in the big scheme of things, when you move from entrepreneur to leader, and you know we're both in this business of team building, but when you move to the leadership role more than just the entrepreneur role, it's because you're willing then to take your eyes off yourself and put it on somebody else. So the first side of what we're going to talk about today is, are you willing to give somebody else the credit when your downline succeeds? Are you willing to say to them, good job, you did this? And I learned from Dexter Jaeger, the number one distributor in the history of the industry, of the profession. Dexter said, when things go bad, it's my fault, not theirs, because their self-image can't handle it when they're new. So when I'm working with a new person, he said, I take the blame as much as possible so that the pressure's not off them, so they stay encouraged to fight another day, to set another meeting, to talk to somebody else, to begin to restart until they get some success that locks them in. And then we acknowledge that success, right? So I ad-libbed a little bit there, but the point is, when things are good, give them the credit. When things are bad, take the blame and say, man, I'm sorry, I must have had a bad day, or I must not have been on today, or I must have done something not perfectly. Let's give me a chance. Let's do this again, and the next time the result will be better. So when you're locking arms and partnering with people, instead of just sponsoring them, to helping them to make you, hoping they're going to make you rich, right? So when you partner with people, give them the credit and take the blame. That's called leadership. And that will develop you other leaders. And that will develop you the lifestyle, the freedom. You'll get some credit along the way, but you'll get credit in the end by your result for the team that you've built. When you're speaking to tens of thousands of people instead of one or two, you'll get the credit in the time, all in time. However, when your eyes are on getting the credit, you will not be a successful team builder. So it's very important to spiritually mature to the point. You might ask God for help to put some love in your heart and some compassion to lift others up and take your eyes off yourself. When you get to that place where you're willing to do that, that's when you'll begin to get some real good traction, develop leaders. And when you can develop one leader, it's okay, because guess what? You can put it all in on that leader, and in time you'll find a second one, and a third one, and a fourth one. And the profitability will come, the success will come, the levels will come. So are you trying to build this by yourself? Are you willing to develop a team? And now the other side of this whole discussion is not just what you're doing with your teammates, but have you surrounded yourself with people who will mentor you? That's the books you're reading, the people you're associating with, and your mentors, your coaches. Are you accountable to someone whom you trust that has fruit on the tree, that maybe has a little more or a lot more experience than you, that can give you a perspective, keep you in line, help you see what you can't see? Because see, there's 4 windows in our lives. There's the first window is what we know about us that nobody else knows except us and God, right? And the second window of our life is what we know and everyone else knows. And the third window of our life is what everyone else knows about us that we don't know ourselves. And the fourth window of our life is the things that only God knows that nobody knows, ourselves or others. And what's so important is that we have people in our life that we can trust, and in our business that we can trust, mentors, right? The Bible says out of the abundance of counselors is wisdom, right? So, or safety. So what's so important is to find those people and trust them and get guidance from them and direction from them and lean on them and trust them when they tell you what you don't want to hear, because sometimes that's the advice that's going to help you in the long run the most. Doesn't mean you always have to agree, but it means you're very serious about willing to take the risk. When in doubt, trust them instead of your own mind, because that old saying, sometimes we're so close to the forest we cannot see the trees. Sometimes we're so close to the forest we cannot see the trees. And somebody back just a few feet further who sees our life and our actions and has a perspective of us in the picture with the forest in the backdrop, and can see a bigger view than we can ourselves, and can therefore have a perspective and information and see things in a way that we need to see them to get the full understanding and make the wisest choices. So who do you have in your life that can help you see the forest and the trees, right? Who do you have in your life that sees that window of the things that others see about you that you can't see yourself? And if your ego's in the way, you will not have the success. You're going to have mediocre success. You can work and work and work and get some success, but it will always be limited. You'll never be the great one if you cannot humble yourself, because the Bible says the meek shall inherit the earth. And the meek are those who are willing to be coached, those who are willing to be taught, those who are willing to take instruction. You know, look at Alcoholics Anonymous, those that have a sponsor that can just tell them what hurts, but is the truth. Somebody they trust that has fruit on the tree. Those people get recovery. Those people see the miracle. Those people see the change in their life. And those that think they don't need it are those that are self-deceiving, and that ego will destroy the good things that could happen for them. So today's podcast secret is, who is your mastermind partner? Who is your mastermind partner? Who is it that you can trust and discuss with and strategize with, that can see things that you can't see, that will offer perspective that may not always be right, but may often be right, and will now allow you to get to an elevation or levels of possibility that you could not get to by yourself. And therefore, the best, most common way to do that is to get yourself a coach. That could be somebody in your upline, somebody that's not even in your upline. There's a lot of paid coaches in the industry that have good reputations and will demonstrate. And so therefore, I encourage you to find one. There's a lot of big names that do coaching that are known for their integrity. Find yourself a coach. First, look in your upline, because they're paid directly for your success. But if you can't find a coach that's really making an impact, that's really helping you, they're not willing or not able, or they're just not flat making a difference for you at the level you need them to help, reach out, look. And if you need some help, we're here as well. We will not try to in any way discourage you from your own mission. We're here to help you. So if you have any questions, we do some coaching. So if you have any questions, we can give you a free coaching session. And that alone is absolutely complimentary. And if you need any help, reach out to us. We're not going to charge you to give you a coaching. Often we can discover together in one free 1 hour session, we can discover what you need to do next. And then from there you can make decisions if you need more sessions or not. So with that, today, this is Rome Bachelor. Who are you accountable to? Who do you trust? And who's helping you see what you can't see for yourself? And are you willing to give your team the credit and take the blame yourself when things don't go right? It's basically today is, are you keeping your ego and not succeeding? Or are you willing to let go of ego, get a little more love and compassion and humility in your life, and ask for help from the Lord above in that area? And who on earth is it that you're trusting to help you get to the next level? With that, until tomorrow, this is day 12 of our journey, 365 days to total life freedom with network marketing. Until tomorrow, make it a great life.
Thank you for sharing today's 365 Days of MLM to Freedom podcast. And remember to email your questions and comments directly to Rome at 365daysofmlm@gmail.com. And until next time, we want to encourage you to join in on the journey.